Warning. The following video presentation contains scenes of extreme deliciousness. Failure to either eat first or bring a snack to consume during the presentation could result in wanting to lick the screen or in some way act the fool. Ain't nobody want that. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
How's it going? You're kidding me? Welcome. Hope everyone is doing alright today. Hope you're doing good this morning. Yeah. Starting a little earlier today. That's because there's a lot more to do. And in some ways I kind of feel like I probably lost my mind, but it was one of those things that it's like, well, if I'm already doing this, why can't I do this too? And well, since I'm doing that also, why can't I do this other thing? And so everything is sort of snowballed. Because last night we were sitting on the couch, watching some YouTube videos after the fact. Just about, you're kidding me. We'll go over it. But yeah, so Mrs. Weiss and myself were sitting on the couch last night watching some YouTube videos, just kind of winding down, getting ready before heading to bed, and there was a video that popped up of a Korean restaurant making burgers and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, we'll check it out. And hey, Squire, welcome. So we're watching the video and we're like, wow, those burgers are looking really good. I'm like, oh, maybe we should make burgers tomorrow. But the thing that really kind of set it off and got me thinking about it was like, man, those buns look amazing. The buns that they had were just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I kept thinking about sort of the bun options that I typically have available to me. And I was like, they're good. And, it's like, hey, it's when you're in a pinch, you can just grab them and, be good. But I thought to myself, why don't I try making hamburger buns? Because I've never done it before. And I thought that'd be a pretty good idea, because why not, right? And that turned into, well, if I'm already making the buns, I might as well grind the burger too. Because I had a prime grade chuck roast in the freezer that I thought would work perfectly for that. So there we are. But since I was already, making the buns and grinding the burger, I thought, well, most of the time when I make cheeseburgers, I just shred the cheese and then kind of put it on top and let it melt. But then I thought, why don't I actually just make a small batch of the Liquid Sex cheese sauce slices? Because it doesn't take very long, and why not? Then that way it'll be an even better quality cheese, and there we go. But besides, you can't just have burgers on your own. You got to have some kind of side with them. And I thought, okay, well, I suppose I could make, fries or chips or whatever. I'm like, but I had done that not that long ago, and I'm like, doing large batches of fries is kind of a pain. But I'm like, actually, what would be good is onion rings, I thought, because, A, I love onion rings. I adore them. So I figured I could, fry them up, and we can have them on hand, and if I can pop them in the oven to kind of reheat whenever we're ready to go, closer to feeding time. And I'm not going to fry up, like, the entire onion. I figure I'll, use, like, the largest rings to make onion rings for the sides, but then the rest of the onion I'm going to chop up and, kind of fry up to have grilled onions to put onto the burgers themselves. But we got to have bacon, so we'll be frying up the bacon, and then the onions will be made in the bacon fat, so it'll be all super yummy and delicious all around. And yeah, I'm going to make a spread to put on the burgers, which you're free to use or not, whatever's clever. But yeah, that's sort of the descent into madness that I've gone into. So the thing about the dough for the hamburger buns, right? I had read through the recipe. I found one online. It's off of allrecipes.com. It's the homemade hamburger buns recipe. It's like 5 stars, 800 and some odd reviews. And I read through it. I'm like, okay, it sounds good. And the comments are like, yeah, just follow the recipe to the letter, and they'll come out fantastic. I'm like, okay, cool. Reading through it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, since I'm gonna, make these on stream, I figured I'm gonna need to start earlier. But then I had a closer look at it, and I realized that it actually is gonna take longer than what I initially anticipated. So earlier today, I got the dough started, and I filmed it. The video for that is actually sitting on the computer, and then when I go to post this VOD on YouTube, I'm going to edit it in. So this would be a great point for me to go.
Silly me had forgotten to unmute the mic when I recorded this first part of the video, so here we are. All I'm really talking about is the recipe that I'm using is off of allrecipes.com for the homemade hamburger buns. And what I'm doing is following the instructions by measuring out 1 pound of flour and then pulling out a half cup of it to put into the mixing bowl. To the mixing bowl, I'm adding an additional 1/4 ounce of yeast and 1 cup of warm water that I had temped prior to filming at 105, but it was, I believe, 100 or 101 when I added it to the mixing bowl to let the yeast bloom. Hey, everything worked out, so far so good.
Okay, 15 minutes are up, and I need to go back and check the video that I shot, but I think my mic was muted, and so there's background music, but no me talking, so I might have to record a little voiceover to explain what was happening in the first part. So 15 minutes have gone, and it's looking foamy. So awesome. I'm very happy with that. Okay. So in that 15-minute time frame, besides getting the mixer set up, I melted the 3 tablespoons of butter, added in the 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1.25 teaspoons of salt, and the 1 egg, and I got it whisked together in here. And so now we're gonna add all this to the dough, or to the yeast and water and flour mix. Spatula that out. Okay. So that is ready to go. And then let's give this a good mix. Okay. Now let's add in our flour. The rest of that 1 pound. Okay. So the directions just say to, mix all that liquid stuff up, but just add the flour. It doesn't say to, it just says add the remaining flour, then get it on your mixer. I've used this before, I swear. And dough hook on locked, and then put it on low speed for about 5 or 6 minutes until a soft and sticky dough comes together. So we're gonna put it on low and then time lapse this sucker.
El Chupa Hueso's cooking today. What is he gonna make? Yeah. DK's making a cake today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making baking a cake today. El Chupa Hueso's cooking today. What is he gonna make? Yeah. DK's making a cake today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making baking a cake today. El Chupa Hueso's cooking today. What is he gonna make? Yeah. DK's making a cake today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making baking a cake today. El Chupa Hueso's cooking today. What is he gonna make? Yeah. DK's making a cake today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making baking a cake today. El Chupa Hueso's cooking today. What is he gonna make? Yeah. DK's making a cake today.
So it's been going for 5 minutes. And the instructions say to kind of poke it and prod it with the silicone spatula, which is what I got. And they're like, if a large amount of dough sticks, then add a little bit more flour. But I'm poking it, and nothing's sticking. So that's... I take that to mean that that is the correct consistency that we're looking for. So... that. Move this. Lightly floured work surface. That will do. Alright. So, directions say to turn it out onto a lightly floured work surface. That it should be sticky and elastic, but it shouldn't really stick to one's hands too much. I got a bit of sticky there. I would imagine that once we kind of get it turned over in the flour a little bit. There we go. And then it just says to form into a ball and tuck the stuff on the underside. this point, it should go into this bowl here. Instructions say lightly oil it. And I'm using grapeseed oil because, well, that's sort of my oil of choice for being nice and neutral and everything. So, alright. And then it says turn it over a couple of times in order to get a touch of oil on it, but I'm thinking hit it with a little bit of that. Okay, so there's our dough, ready to hang out and proof for a couple of hours, and cover some plastic wrap, and then get it into a warm place. There we go. There's the beginning of our dough. Next time we'll see this should be at the beginning of the stream. So I will see you all then. And then drop in that footage. And here we have our completed, well, the dough that's ready to go. This has been rising for about, I think, 2 hours or so. And thankfully, I mean, the recipe, like I said, is super simple. It's the homemade hamburger buns recipe off of allrecipes.com. So you can smell the yeast. It's definitely done its thing. We got some nice bubbles. Everything's looking good. But from this point, we're going to shape the buns, get them on the tray here that's got the silpat, and it's going to need to further kind of rest for about an hour. So we're going to get this done first, then we're going to move on to working on the burger meat, and then depending on kind of where we're at from there is we'll, you know, kind of figure it out as we go. So from this point, what I need to do is actually lightly flour the work surface. I'm going to try making cheese next month. It's my new project. I just finished making and canning tomato, apple chutney, applesauce, and bread and butter pickles. Nice! Cheese making is pretty awesome. It's something that I would love to do more of. I've made it a couple of times, but I sold it and I enjoyed it. And there's a pretty famous YouTuber that's a cheese maker. If I remember correctly, he's in Australia. And he made this video about his own kind of homemade Parmesan. And apparently his recipe was a little too close to the secretly guarded, I guess, recipe that's used, the standardized recipe in the Parma region. And they threatened to sue. There was like a whole kerfuffle about it. But at any rate, have fun making cheese. I look forward to hearing about it. Okay, so we're gonna turn this dough out onto our lightly floured work surface here. And kind of give it some pats. To get a little bit of the air out. The instructions say, you know, try to pat it out to about a rough 5" by 10" rectangle, about a 1/2 inch thick or so. And it's pretty close, I think. So now we need to divide this into 8. Now with these, I'm going to try to round them up. Cut it down to about a half-inch thick is what the instructions say. Stick that off over there for the time being. Alright, it's about a half inch. Girls going crazy, it sounds like. Probably somebody walking by. Okay. I'm just tucking the edges underneath, kind of expose a nice, even, stretched out surface. I didn't, it's funny, as I was in the market earlier this morning, picking up a couple of things for today, and right by the checkout is the bread section. And I had my hands on some hamburger buns, and I thought, just in case, just kind of like a safety net sort of thing, I should pick some up. But then I thought, nah, we're going to do this like do or die. We're either going to succeed or fail spectacularly. Hey, Beef, what's going on? Yeah, go for it. Lurk, have a good time. It's, we're making hamburger buns right now. And then in a bit, we're going to grind some beef. So, yep, no safety net today. Either we have some really nice homemade hamburger buns, or we're going to be eating our burgers protein style. Protein style, for those that don't know, In-N-Out, a super famous burger chain from Southern California, has a secret menu of items that you can either order. You can order, like, for instance, a Neapolitan shake, for instance, because they have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry shakes that they serve, and so you can actually get, like, a shake that has the individual layers. Well, one of the items on the secret menu is known as protein style, and it's their burger, but instead of buns, it uses lettuce leaves. So, boom. Here is our hamburger buns that now need to kind of chill for about an hour before we can hit them with an egg wash and sesame seeds and throw them in the oven. So the instructions actually said loosely cover it with plastic wrap, but don't seal it in. So these edges are open, but it's covered in order to keep them protected. So I'm going to go pop around the corner because we've got a bathroom on the other side of the wall. It's a really small one, and it's perfect for letting these raise. So I will be right back. let's get this cleaned up. I've cleaned this countertop, I think, 3 times today. Okay. Hi, little girl. Give it a quick wipe down. Then set it right here. Okay. Burger timer. Hour on the clock. There we go. So I got light bar right here, so that's on top of that. Alright. Let's put that away. Then we can move on to the next one. Okay. Phase number 2. Time to cut up some meat. Alright, so what I have here is a vacuum sealed prime grade chuck roast that I had purchased and then went and froze. According to the date on there, October of last year. And most likely it was one of, and I had weighed this already and it's like right around, it's not quite 2 pounds. But it was one of those things that's like, okay, yeah, you know, I could, you know, do it for dinner or something like that, but hadn't ever really gotten around to using it. But I thought for today, it would be perfect. Hey, Scott, what's going on? Alright. So the plan of action with this is I want to trim out some of the excess big chunks of fat, but also cut it up to pop in the freezer for about a half hour. So then that way when I go to grind it, it actually grinds easier when it's partially frozen. If you ever tried grinding meat that's at room temp, you find that the blades just kind of smear it and you don't get a really good texture out of it. And for burgers, I definitely want a good texture. Hey, Mike No Play, thanks for the follow. Let's see. Gotta protect hands before you handle the meat. Have your condiments ready. This is true. You're very correct there, Beef. Alright. So this bit is coming off. Little bit of external fat on there. Like the intramuscular stuff I'm fine with. It's kind of the bigger chunks that I would prefer to get rid of. But you gotta have some fat in there. Usually like an 80% is usually a really good mix for making burgers. So then that way you have some fat to add plenty of flavor and your burger's not super dry. I've seen people, you know, use super lean ground beef for burgers, and they're just never very good because they're just so dry. So far, so then I've got a pair of bowls here. Once we get the beef cut up, all of that's going to go into the freezer to hang out for about a half hour, and then we grind. Now, already in the freezer is all the metal parts to my grinder attachment for my mixer. I think that's about as trend as I'm gonna really worry about. I try to, if I can take out as much of the connective tissue as possible, it's always a good thing, because that just ends up being chewy and you can't digest it. Okay. There's all of our trim. And I'm thinking we should probably hang on to this for the doggos. They'll enjoy it. Never tried to make a whole meal from scratch. Yeah, well, not everything is completely and utterly from scratch. Some of the big items that are going to be from scratch, the buns, which are now chilling and doing a second rise before we bake them off. But we're grinding the burger, making cheese slices that will be melty and kind of have that yummy deliciousness, or at least the melty texture of the American cheese slices, but we're not using American cheese. It's the liquid sex cheese sauce that we're turning into cheese slices, but we'll get to that point. Okay, let's cut this up. So I'm just aiming for kind of like 1/2-inch cubes, really. That's about 1 1/4 centimeters for the metric folk out there. I don't want the pieces to be so big, because the grinder attachment can't handle large pieces. I do have a large meat grinder that we had purchased specifically for when we make, or when I make food for our dogs. But that is a large piece of equipment that I really didn't feel like getting out. And since I was already using the KitchenAid earlier, I figured, you know, might as well use that grinder attachment. And this stuff doesn't have to be perfect. Especially since we're going to be double grinding it. We're going to run it through on a coarse disc, and then we're going to run it through on a fine disc. That should give us a really nice texture for the burgers. So this actually came up a little bit earlier today. I'm curious what you folks in chat like on your burger. And I ask because there are some exceptionally strong opinions when it comes to burgers, be it straight up hamburgers or cheeseburgers or whatever. Remember watching this, it was like a hamburger competition. I think it was sponsored by Kingsford or something like that. And one of the judges had written this book all about making burgers and stuff like that. And he had a very specific percentage ratio of how much bun to everything else there should be. And like how important it was to everything else. And I remember somebody said that, bun for them wasn't that big of a deal, and they weren't necessarily huge fans of it. And he about had a heart attack, and you could see like veins in his head popping. But yeah, people have some very strong opinions about that kind of thing. Imagine it'd be pretty hard to make cheese from scratch in a single strain. Yes, that is correct. We're not making the cheese from scratch. I have it's a medium cheddar cheese that I'm going to be using, but we're going to be turning it into the liquid sex cheese sauce that I make, and then that's going to be spread out on a sheet tray and then cooled, so then that will turn into sliceable, really beautifully melty cheese. I will get to it, have no fear. Alright, I'm going to go pop this into the freezer real quick. Save the gloves for when it comes time to shake burgers. Alright. That is in the chest freezer, and we're good to go there. Wanted to give that a bit of a washing out real quick, so then that way cleanup later goes way easier. Okay, time to set the next timer. Ugh. 30 minutes on the clock. That is for the beef, and then pulling it out to get it grounded, whatever. In the meantime, we got a couple of things that we can do. I'm thinking we should make the cheese slices first, so then that way they've got plenty of time to kind of hang out. Thankfully, the cheese slices only require 3 ingredients, and it's all totally by ratio. For those that were around for the tater tot hot dish stream where I made the liquid sex cheese sauce, you'll remember this. But for new friends and people that weren't around for it, the base recipe for the liquid sex cheese sauce literally is 3 ingredients: cheese, heavy cream, and the magic ingredient, sodium citrate. Hey, thanks for the resub, Avocado Green KitchenAid. Sodium citrate is what's also known as sour salt, is what's used in those American cheese slices that gives it that kind of melty texture that we love. So in this case, it's by weight: 100% cheese, 93% heavy cream, 7% sodium citrate. Okay, you heat up your heavy cream till it's close to the boiling point, but it hasn't gotten there yet. You add in your sodium citrate, stir it up, so then that way it dissolves, and then you start adding in your cheese and whisking it in, and then a little bit at a time until it incorporates, and then you add the next bit, and so on and so forth. It comes together really quick, and then we're gonna pour it out onto a sheet tray to let it chill and solidify, and then we'll slice it up later to put on the burgers as we go to make them. So I'm gonna go grab what I need for that, and then I will be right back. Big block of cheese. Stupid flies. Green. Bust out our induction cooktop, so then that way we have a nice view of it. Swear I cleaned this thing. Oh well. All right. So let's see. We got that. We got the sodium citrate. Excellent. All right. Next up. No. Saucier, got the whisk. Alright, we got our sheet tray here with the non-stick foil set up on it to pour it out onto, so that way it can chill. And I'll put that in the fridge out in the garage, so then that way it cools down nice and even, and then we can cut it up into slices a little bit later. And let's see, anything else? Got my scale here. Got that. Spatula. That would be really good. Okay. Alright, so I had a look to see what the kind of the size of the cheese slices are. Does it only work with American cheese, or have you tried it with other cheeses? So the thing about the cheese sauce there, Mike, is that it is used that particular, so the sodium citrate is the magic ingredient. That's the thing that makes this whole thing work. Okay, you can use basically whatever cheese that you want. A couple of things that I have found in my time making this is that you can certainly use harder cheeses like Parmesan or like an aged Gouda or something like that, but you don't want to make the entirety of the cheese sauce with it because it doesn't integrate quite as well as some of the younger softer cheeses. But that being said, you don't also necessarily want to go to the other extreme by doing like a really soft brie or camembert, something that tends to be super, super soft. Like you can use some, but I wouldn't necessarily use all of it. If medium cheddar I think works great for cheeseburgers. If there's a different cheese that you're a fan of, please feel free to use that. Havarti works really well. Buttered cheese is fantastic. Pepper jack is really good. But this base recipe can also be transformed into, like, when I'm done with just this, if I had, say, some boiled macaroni, stir it in, instant mac and cheese. Take the cheese sauce, pour it over, on the interior of, like, say, a baked potato. It's magnificent stuff. If you spiced it up with, like, say, some chipotle powder, maybe some onion and garlic powder, maybe a little paprika, I mean, you made your own nacho cheese sauce at that point. Maybe stir in some pickled jalapenos. So it's kind of a building block recipe that then you can kind of branch out to turn it into whatever you want. Like I said, I'm using medium cheddar because A, it's what I got, and B, I like it for burgers that it's not so overpowering that you can't taste anything else, but it has enough of a flavor that you know that it's there. So it plays well with others. All right. So for the amount that I'm making, I'm thinking probably since the cheese slices are about 1 ounce, and I mean, I'm going to be adding heavy cream and that sodium citrate. Thinking probably around the 6 ounce mark, and then we'll convert that to grams and then use the grams in order to actually make the sauce, just because it's way easier to do math with grams. And let's see. And we got a calculator app open and ready to go. All right. So that is on. Let's start shredding. All right. Let's see. My counters. That's a little over 3 ounces, so once again. Survey says 7 1/4. I'll take it. Well, better pull some out for the dogs. Alright, 7 1/8. So that's 204 grams. Okay. So let's grab a pen real quick. 204. So, alright. So 204 times 0.93 is about 190. It's actually 189.72, but my scale isn't anywhere near that accurate, so that's what we're going with. A network error. It might have been just you, because everything's still going for me. Alright, let's that. 203 times 0.07. So a little over 14. Alright. So that is our math for this. I'm really surprised Jane hasn't done it, but he might be asleep the other end. So that's okay. Hang on to this in the meantime. I got a little dish with their treats right there, so. Okay. That is ready. Hi, little puppy. Here. Good job. Not sure how on camera she was, but that's Vera. Hi, little girl. Okay. So we got our cheese. Let's throw this on the scale. Alright. We need what? 190. $191. I'll take it. All right. Yep. Measure out our sodium citrate, so that's ready to go. We need what, 14? 14. All right. Get that out of the way. Okay. Thankfully, this bit goes pretty quickly. Good times. Just turning it up a little bit. Yeah, you never want to let your milk or heavy cream or whatever come up to a full boil, at least unless whatever you're making calls for it to be scorched or actually come to a full boil, just because the water in it, once it actually hits the temp where it starts to boil, it goes from like a few bubbles to boiling over real quick. Somebody's walking by, it sounds like. Oh, here we go. We got the bubbles. That dissolved. Alright, now we can start slowly adding our cheese. You'll notice the cheese just, once it starts melting and integrating, it just becomes, like I said, liquid sex. It's just absolutely amazing stuff. There we go. Nice. Smells awesome. Get it. Okay. Last addition. And kill the heat, because it's plenty of residual. Alright, yeah. Check out that consistency. Okay. Oh, very good. Okay. You can see it already starting to set up. Sounds like there might be a delivery truck or something like that outside. Oh, grab off that spatula. Just getting some hot water for this so to kind of warm up this little mini offset a little bit, just so should help. smooth things out a little bit. You can already see it setting up. That's good stuff. Alright, so it'll be a little bit thicker. I'm okay with that. Alright. I'm going to go pop this into the fridge and take this stuff down. I'm also going to check on what's going on outside real quick. So, I'm going to throw up my be right back, and I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and we'll move on with everything.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK. Making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
And I'm back. Okay. So thankfully, Liquid Sex cheese slices. Oh, G-Money here? Oh, yes he is. So far, Grant, which by the way, loved the segment on Banger TV today with you and Andy. It was awesome. Could not choose between the two of you guys, honestly, because you're both amazing. But enough about that. In terms of what we're doing today, so far what has been missed is the hamburger buns, the dough that I made earlier. We shaped them, and they're now chilling for about another 20 minutes or so before we brush on an egg wash and hit them with some sesame seeds and then bake them off. I turned my oven on in the meantime. And we made the Liquid Sex cheese sauce and then laid it out on a sheet tray. That's now in the fridge because we're going to cut it up later for our own cheese slices. And trimmed and cut up a prime grade chuck roast that we're going to grind in about, well, my timer's going to go off in about 3 minutes. But in the meantime, since I've got a couple of minutes, I figured I would mix up the kind of the spread that I'm going to use on the burgers. And thankfully it's a pretty simple recipe. Mayo, ketchup, some mustard, hot sauce, vinegar. I've got dried minced garlic and onion. We're not adding all of that, but we're adding some of it to it. And then this will just kind of hang out and chill for about an hour and let the minced dried bits, rehydrate and everything. You could certainly put freshly minced onion and garlic into this if you want. This is a much more shelf-stable version and not having to cut up quite as many things. This is my super cool sticky stuff measuring cup that I have set to 1 cup because the ratio is 1 cup mayo, a half cup ketchup, 1/4 cup mustard, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of this, and a little bit of pepper, and then that's that. Super easy. And then this is a great all-purpose spread for burgers and whatnot. And hey, if you want to do something different, please go right ahead. Everybody likes their burgers a little bit different. I was asking earlier what people like on their burgers, because it can be a very hotly contested subject. Personally, I can't, I say, haven't met a burger I didn't like. I'm like, no, that's not true. I've had burgers that I've not been a big fan of. But in terms of, would I give some kind of specialty burger a try? Absolutely. Because why not? Alright. That's it for mayo. Come on. Boom. Reset to half cup. Giant jug of ketchup here. Alright. That was the timer for the beef. Just that it's been in the freezer for a half hour now, so it should be just right for grinding. My grinder bits are already in the freezer too. You get the feeling. This is just straight up yellow mustard. Alright. Thank goodness we have a stunt one handy. Hey, you're kidding me. pickles, 2 to 3 slices of cheese, 1 to 2 patties, tomato, apple chutney, and a little lettuce. Nice. It is interesting that what constitutes kind of a normal hamburger in different countries varies wildly. One of the things that I had at a place was a fried egg on it, which I thought was actually super good. But I can totally see an apple chutney being pretty dang tasty on a burger. Alright. That is that stuff. This is the onion. I'm putting a couple of big fingerfuls in there. Couldn't tell you the exact amount. And the garlic. Probably about the same. And maybe less. Or not. Just kind of whatever I'm feeling at the time. Gotta grill the buns, and if on hand, onions. Yeah, I'm a fan of the grilled buns and onions and all that. Touch of vinegar, and then a little bit of heat. That's also got a vinegar bite to it. I could add regular pepper, but why don't I add a little butt glitter? There we go. Thankfully, this will keep for a pretty decent amount of time. Actually, I just realized. There. Little girl's excited about something. Mince up some pickle chips here. Add them to them. I think this is sort of like the one missing thing. And these are kind of a sweet and spicy pickle chip. I'm a big fan of them. They're from a chain called Famous Dave's. Keep those on hand just because we don't want probably some more pickles just for the burgers itself. There we go. Beauty. Oven's ready. That's looking like a good spread. Yeah. That was like the missing ingredient right there. Alright, so I'm going to put this off. And let's get rid of this stuff. Move this for a minute so then that way we can grind them. All right. All right, I'm gonna go grab that meat right back. Alright, frozen grinder bits, meat that has been in the freezer. Let's bust out them gloves again. Hey, G-Tribe Alex, welcome, welcome. And what did I see? Arvind, is this a steakhouse burger or a smash burger? It's not. I don't know if I would necessarily classify it either. I mean, I'm going to be measuring out the weight of the patties and then forming them, but it's not going to be like the, you know, hey, we're going to form the ball, start frying up the ball, and then smash them in the middle of, you know, making them. But the patties aren't also going to be super thick either. I'm going to be aiming for about 4-ounce patties. There we go. Tanning ring. I got my fine dye here. And of course, 2 bowls. Alright. So that's all locked. We're ready to go. It is not liking something. If I were to wager a guess, if I wager a guess, I would say that the blade Yep. So the blade on this, meat got in between it and the disc, and then it just wrapped around it. Which is unfortunate. My guess is that maybe I just didn't tighten the retaining ring enough so that it was just loose enough. Hopefully. That seemed to do it. I was just thinking that if I had been dressed up as a cow doing this, it'd be like something off of a cattle decapitation album cover. Bacon cheeseburgers. Yes, that is correct, Lumpy Pickle. Welcome, welcome. Looks like something out of a horror movie, Night Songs. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, kind of like off of a cattle decapitation album cover. If you know anything about the band. Oh! Just in time for the buns. Alright. I'm gonna get this taken apart and cleaned up a little bit before moving on. Because if you do not clean these bits and pieces immediately, cleaning them up is an absolute nightmare. But yeah, if you know anything about the band Cattle Decapitation, they are saying that they're vegan is really mild. They're like militantly vegan, and kind of all of their music is kind of written and from the standpoint of what if people were treated the same way that like cattle is treated in the commercial farming industry and stuff like that. Very, very graphic lyrics and videos. Trying to get some of the inner bits of the main shoot, I got that. I can wrap this up and put it away because I no longer need it. Before I go making burgers, I want to sanitize this since the meat got on it. Okay. Countertop all cleaned up. Swapping out the gloves because the last thing we want is cross-contamination. Okay. Go. I'll say hello to our friend Mr. Scale once again. Hopefully the display can be. And we're in. I was going to initially run it through on the fine die, but after running it through a second time on the coarse one, I like the way the grind is looking. So, there we go. Alright, so we're aiming for 4 ounce. A little bit. Now it's just messing. Oh, there we go. Okay. Generally speaking, when it comes to forming burgers, the less you work it, the better. Just so then that way you have a much better texture and overall eating experience. So I'm pressing those out to probably about a 1/4 inch or so. That way they'll cook nice and quick. Oh, look at that! Right on the money. All I'm doing is I'm just using my thumb to kind of tuck the edges back into it. Thinking I should have gotten a larger tray. That's why I buy the industrial size rolls of plastic wrap. This is what, 2,000 feet? I think we bought this 6 years ago. Still using it. Plus it's nice and wide and it's kind of perfect for my needs. Ooh, 3 7/8, real close. There we go. It says 3 5/8. Wow, that was all. There we go. Might be enough for just one more. After we're done with this, I'm gonna go put them out in the fridge and let them chill until we're ready to fry them up. How much is that? Oh, super close. 7 inches. Just a smidge smaller. All right. In the meantime, hydrate. Cows taste excellent. Yes, they do. All right. What's hilarious is my sink was completely empty. Not so much anymore. And the buns are back. Those have definitely poofed up some more. Alright. Since the heavy cream was open, I'll just use a little bit of that along with the egg. Okay. Whisk. I am very hopeful. These have puffed up very, very nicely. My big bag of sesame seeds here. Oh, we gotta whisk down. Whoop. Okay. Let's get those brushed down. Part of me is kind of kicking myself for not having actually weighed the dough and super evenly done it, but you know what? This is the first time I've ever made hamburger buns from scratch, so I'll take what I got. Quite pleased with these. They smell really good. Yeast has certainly done its job. That jar of yeast that I used, actually people on stream wouldn't have seen it because I used it earlier, but I recorded it and it'll be in the YouTube VOD. The yeast is from a large jar that has been in our fridge for a little while. And I know there was a question a little while back about whether or not it was still any good. Well, I think we proved that yeast is working just fine. If you don't like sesame seeds, feel free to put like poppy seeds. Wanted some like minced up onion on there for onion buns. I wanted to make this kind of straight up initially, just so then that way kind of had a baseline. Because I thought, you know, I'm a big fan of onion buns, and so I kind of figured, hey, if this works really nicely, then why not try incorporating some minced onion or something? That's weird. Something's flashing. I don't know what's... That was weird. Something's glitching. But we're still here. We're still going. Okay, cool. Alright, so we're going to put these... how long? Let's go 15 minutes. Alright, 15 minutes, 375 degree oven. So I just turned on the little wall oven. The reason why is because I've gotten a pair of cast iron pans in there that I am preheating. So then when we go to fry up the burgers, I have multiple pans that I can use at once. And they're already preheated, and I don't have to sit there and wait for them to actually really come up to temp. So... Okay, so let's evaluate where we are at. Cheese slices, done. And burgers made, buns in the oven. I think we are on to the everything else portion. That sounds about right. Bacon. Oh, you can't see that. Let's do that again for dramatic effect. Bacon. Double smoked. I figure we'll make probably between 4 to 6 slices, and I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll bake these, just so then I don't have to necessarily stand there and babysit them. We got a very large onion that we will use for onion rings, as well as kind of fried onions. And I've got a couple of slicing tomatoes that we'll cut up, and I've got some red leaf lettuce. But for the time being, because even though I'm a huge fan of like the really big, monstrous, like half onion rings, it's not what I want today. So I'm kind of thinking maybe about 1/3 thickness. And that first layer is got to go. Alright, so let's... That's an onion ring. That's an onion ring. That's an onion ring. That's chopped up onions. Alright. Okay. Is this going to be agreeable or disagreeable? It's looking like it's going to be disagreeable. Oh! Epic fail. That's alright, they'll eat the same. So that's more chopped onion here. Okay, I think that will be sufficient for our onion rings. They're all a good size. Alright. Everything else here, go ahead and mince up and fry up in the bacon fat once that's done rendering. In the meantime, we should probably get a pan going. So just check out what just got shipped to me, courtesy of the parental units. This is the infamous yellow roll of the Reynolds non-stick foil that I've talked about and have not been able to find. They scored some and had it shipped to me, and we love this stuff because it is just the right size for this kind of thing. Perfect. So thank you to the parental units. Yeah, this stuff is it's genuinely impossible to find right now, but very grateful for it. So thank you. All right. So the one problem with this particular package is that there's no zip top, which is really kind of a pain, but it's good bacon. I'm good. Hey, Dick Cobbler, thank you so much for the follow. Alright, so 5 slices, and that should do us good there. Okay. get that in the fridge. Give the hands a wash. Okay. Bacon is ready to go in. Yeah, the foil did arrive just in time for this. So, alright, I'm going to pop this in the oven right now, where the buns are still at. This is probably going to take 15-ish minutes or so, at least. That's sort of my guess. I don't necessarily want them like super limp, but I don't want them really crispy, so I'll probably go in and out a few times, and I'll probably end up draining off the fat in order to promote it really crisping up. So I do want some crispiness, but I do want some give to it. There's a really fine line. I really, really wish I had a I really wish I had an oven cam right now, because I just saw the buns and they look awesome. I'm pretty stoked. Alright, I need a bowl for that. That will be for the batter. But in the meantime, we'll put those in there. Get them off to the side. Alright. So we've got onions that we need to chop up. We also got tomatoes that we need to slice. And lettuce, which I can do last. Because this is going to take a little bit. Onions flying everywhere today. Okay. That's that. Who knows? Maybe I'll put an onion ring on a burger. Although, actually, what I could do from Mrs. Place, though, is, since I'm doing onion rings, and we've got the cheese, we've got the burgers, we've got the buns, and I've got, some of my Walesboro barbecue sauce in the fridge, I could do her a Western bacon cheeseburger, which I think she would like quite a bit. And of course, I just realized that everything I did was just not on camera. That's okay. Earlier, when I recorded the dough making process, the very first part of it, I didn't realize that the mic was muted, and so I had to go back and record a voiceover for it. So, oh, funny, haha. Okay. Why, just grab that one. There's that one there. Okay. Not sure what time Mrs. Weiss is going to be home this evening, just because I know things have been very crazy for her at work recently, with not only year end but month end, and an audit going on. She's the senior accountant at the local Humane Society. And so she's been having to deal with a whole bunch of crazy stuff. And on top of that, they just got a volunteer that is going to be helping him out 20 hours a week, who, for whatever reason, they decided to bring her in starting yesterday. And it's like, they really could have waited another week. That would have been the best. But, you know, it is what it is. So on top of trying to get all the stuff that she's got to get done, it's like, okay, well, let's, you know, give this woman a task that will hopefully keep her busy. Now, what she was saying is that the woman's pretty amazing. She's got a degree in accounting from Taiwan, which is where she's from, but just doesn't have work experience here in the United States. So she has the knowledge and everything, and apparently she's very smart because they gave her this task yesterday that in theory should have taken like an hour or whatever, and she was done with it in like 5 minutes. So they're like, oh, I gotta find new things for her to do. Little bits for other things. Oh, that's the buns. Okay. Let's see. Yes! I'm still on camera, thank goodness. This camera has a tendency to freeze up sometimes, and it's really kind of a pain. Check it out, y'all. Oh, those are looking awesome. I'm going to rotate them and pop them back in for a couple more minutes just to make sure the top is totally brown. But those are looking and smelling awesome. Okay. The bacon is going. Yeah. Oh, I'm very happy with how those buns are currently looking. Those are going to be excellent. Oh, that oven's a temp. Hail hydrate. Okay. Need to do the lettuce now. Artichoke overboard. Artichokes were on sale today when I went to the market. They're only $1 each, which is amazing. Because normally they run like $2.50 each. Okay. Now there's a couple of schools of thought when it comes to lettuce. You know, it's like, hey, you can get like nice big torn pieces to put on. Then you got the shredded lettuce crowd. I don't know if I have like a super strong opinion one way or the other. You know, big leaves versus shredded. So I'm kind of tempted to see what chat thinks. Should I shred the lettuce or should I leave it as big leaves? Put it in the chat. I'm really curious. Whatever chat decides, that is how the lettuce shall be made. Oh. Look at those Those are beautiful. They smell amazing. They look fantastic. They just got to cool down now. So I'm gonna leave them on the stove here for probably about 10 or 15 minutes, and then yeah, we'll be good to go there. Let's just turn the temp up on the bacon a little bit. Alright, so there's our bacon timer. That's for the onion rings. Hey, Windeer! Yeah, the burger buns look awesome. Very happy with how they look. I'm excited to bite into one. I'm kind of tempted to crack one open and butter it up, just to kind of see what's what. Any opinions on the lettuce? Shredded versus whole leaf? I don't care one way or another. I'm just curious what chat wants to do. I'm gonna go give these a wash in the meantime. Alright. Alright, that's chilling. So that being the case, let's start making some onion rings. I'm using this Korean mix, frying mix for cooking. Just because I really like the texture of it and it's amazing. You should taste those buns just to be sure. I really should, Windeer, and I think I will. I really like this frying mix for all sorts of things. Thankfully, it's also like super cheap. I think this bag, when it was full, was like $3 or something. Normally, it has you measure out a predetermined amount and then add a specific amount of water, and then use some of the dry mix to dust whatever it is that you're frying up in it. I don't have a whole lot left of this. I need to get another bag, so I'm just going to use all of it in the batter itself, and I'm going to toss the onions in probably some tapioca starch. Okay, so the ratio on this is 2 parts of the batter mix to 3 parts water. So this is 145 grams of mix, 144. So that's an additional 72, so 216. 216 of water. But I'm not going to add that yet because it would help if I got the oil actually going. New fryer of the day. Yep. Yep, the last batch of fry oil, we used it enough to where it was like, okay, it's time to let it go, and new fry oil, so that'll be good. And that's going to take a little bit to come up to temp. I would normally just drop kind of my fry thermometer into it, but cleaning it sucks. So I'm just going to use my instant read to get it to the temp that I want, which I'm aiming for about 350 Fahrenheit. 350, 360 Fahrenheit, somewhere in there. And that's what we'll fry these guys up at. But I'm going to measure out cold water to put into this, and we're going to mix it up right before frying. So then that way it's nice and cold and fresh and ready to go. I'm going to write down. So I need 144 mix. That's 216. Yeah. Okay. That way I don't forget. Not like I'm distracted or anything like that. Okay. No. Tapioca starch. Well, actually, I'll probably hang on because after I dust them, because you can dust them right now, no problem. And it just gives the batter a little something to stick onto. Now, you know what's funny is I was thinking, one could do sort of the traditional flour, egg, and then either, like, say, panko breadcrumbs, or for the gluten-free option, what we found was Rice Krispies works fantastically as a panko substitute. Just kind of crush them up a little bit. I thought about kind of, hey, I could totally do that too, but I only have a little bit of this mix left, and I just assume use it so I can go get a brand new bag. And this is a great opportunity to do that. And I know I totally just pulled this out of thin air, but to be honest, hey, Mrs. Hueso, she is alive and she is heading home. Oh wow, I didn't realize it was 5:30 already. Told y'all she's been working late. Most times she's home by 5 o'clock, but alright, so those are ready to go. That we just need the water. And whole leaves, whole. Okay, whole leaves it is. Alright. I'm gonna check the oil temp real quick. 128, so we got a little while to go. A little warm. kind of warm. Probably let them cool down a little bit more, but oh wow, look at the crumb on that. Look at that. Ooh, that smells good too. That is an amazing looking bun. Excuse me. Alright, bacon, I'm coming. But first, no, I haven't said anything. I got 2 words. Holy bleep. These are good. These are awesome. That is super tasty. I am excited for those. Bacon went a touch longer than I would have liked. But that's okay, it'll eat the same. I would have preferred it a little bit less done than this. But I think for what we're doing, it's just fine. Alright, let's see. Oil temp. 192, 193, 194. We've got a little while to go. Do I need the oven on it? No. That's hot. Yep. Going. A little bit of salt. Need a grating rack for the onion rings. That's ready to go. That's for the onions done. Yeah. Okay. Why, thank you, Scott. That is really good. I am gonna do these in half. Just so they're a little bit more manageable. Okay. Lettuce, done. Tomatoes, done. Bacon, done. Buns, ready to go. Cheese chilling. Burgers chilling. Oil is almost ready to fry up the onion rings. And then after the onion rings are done, we can fry up burgers. Yes. All right, things are coming along nicely. Hail hydrate. Excellent. Okay. $230, $240. All right. Let's do that since I'm over here. And I know I put, well, I don't know if the camera showed it, but like all the bacon fat that was in the pan I put in here for the onions. And I know it's a lot of bacon fat, but I am going to actually drain them. So then that way they're not completely saturated and soaking in the bacon fat. So we're just getting that additional layer of flavor. $257, $259, $260. All right, making our way up. Okay. I'm just going to use a pair of chopsticks to actually mix the batter together. So then that way it's not over mixed. And we need 216. Oops, slow down. 181. 215. 270. Okay. Within a gram. I'm happy with that. So yeah, I'm just giving it a bit of a mix. I'm not necessarily trying to get rid of all the lumps. So then that way it's as light as possible. Club soda would actually be a really good option for this. I can see beer being a really good option too. Right. That looks good to go. There we go. Hey, the camera's still working. $292. $2.93. Okay. That is long. Those, that. If you're wondering why I have it on that back burner instead of a front burner, is the back burner back there is the second largest burner, whereas this one being the biggest. I don't count this thing in the center because it's kind of useless. You're Jane whining. It must be Mrs. Waso. Is that you, baby? You're alive! Neither can I.
10 hours later.
Jeez. What time did you go in this morning?
I got there at 7:30.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Hi, Dad.
Welcome home.
Hi, Puppy.
Come on.
Oh, you're hot.
I've been cooking.
Hi, Puppy. Hi, Puppy. Yeah, I missed you, too. Oh, I missed my pup. And I miss my ting. How's everything going?
So far so good. Want to see the hamburger buns?
Yeah. That's right, you made these from scratch.
I did.
They look fantastic.
Right?
I want to touch them, but my hands are dirty.
Open.
Good job.
Thank you.
That's great.
Right? Okay, this is now cool.
That was a fantastic bun. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. You know I tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know I do.
I would be upset if you lied to me.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's a hair denser than most buns,
Yes.
but I kind of like that part. I'm here. I got nice buns.
Would you
That's
hit
right.
the cook button on the
Cook button. Yes, it's 10 hours a day, very long. But that's what happens when you're the senior accountant and there's flour all over the counter. And it was month end, payroll, year end. By year end.
Too?
Well, not today, but the last 2 weeks has been all of these things. And then, the auditors we're dealing with auditors right now. Because joys of working with a nonprofit. One of those joys.
$3.27.
These buns are fantastic. I'm sorry you guys can't try them. He's never made buns before.
I know, that's what I said. I've never made them, and so I wanted to give them a try, but I think they came out okay.
They came out great.
If I were to... My technique for portioning them, as well as kind of folding on the bottoms, like... Because when you look at the bottom, it's okay. I mean, it's a little D-to-D.
Who cares? It's the bottom. That's just going to go in our bellies.
This is true.
Is next week going to be the same? In theory, no. The auditors gave us this list and they're testing things now, so
They've started to test finally?
Not finally, they've been testing. That's the problem. Normally, I don't know why these auditors are doing it differently. Usually, you sign up for an audit, you get your stuff ready, and then we show up on X day and we're going to then ask you to pull these 10 checks and pull these 10 files and pull these 3 things, and then they like work with it. This auditor, this firm, they're like pulling stuff and working with stuff now, and they haven't officially started. So it's really weird. It's backwards. In theory, next week should be pretty easy, other than, please explain why this got done this way. So then I explain. So next week should just be explanations, and that's it. So yay. Yay. To be honest, I usually enjoy my job, but this last few weeks have been doozy. And I'm salary, so that doesn't mean, you're working extra, yay, more money. No, that doesn't mean that. It just means I get paid to do the hard work.
Alright, we're just about ready to fry up the onion rings.
Frying up onion rings.
Okay.
These sweet and spicy pickle chips are good. They're famous Dave, sweet and spicy. The good news is there's Goodwill, at least where we're at, has the senior program. So those who don't have...
I told them about her.
Oh, yeah. So those who don't have or want to learn a new career path or something, don't have experience. So we got a Peggy who's from Taiwan. She has a bachelor's degree from Taiwan in business, but she hasn't worked here in this country. So she wanted to learn. So she's very slow, but once she gets it, she's super fast. It's refreshing. We had to volunteer. Every time she'd come in, all she would do is like beat herself up and blah blah blah. I'm stupid. Like, no, girl, stop talking. Just stop talking.
Yes, you are being stupid.
Yeah. And your comments about being stupid are what's stupid. It's not that hard. So, anyways, she's turning out to be really good. I just wish we didn't have to train a new employee loosely. She's not employed by us. She's volunteering with us, so she's employed by Goodwill. But, like, why do we have to...
Right now.
This week? Couldn't it have been next week? The Lord has a sense of humor. So, are these buns, you're going to cut them in half, or we're going to use two of the halves?
No, we're going to cut them in half.
Oh, okay. They're going to be excellent. How are you guys? What's up? Are your days crazy?
I don't think Grant's around. He was a little bit earlier. He and Andy were guests on a show on Banger TV.
Okay.
I forget what the name of it was, but it was basically they were trying to pit the two of them against each other.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. I'm like, no.
We're friends. We're friends.
Yes.
Why is it everybody's got to pit against each other?
But on the first vote, it was one of those things that they did end up coming up a dead tie, and to be honest, I kind of waited to cast my vote because I didn't want, like, I couldn't choose one or the other. You know?
Did one have a better answer? You just...
No, because it was, it had to do with playing. Like, they were literally playing guitar.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, who did better?
They're both incredibly good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They won a Juno Award.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Oh yeah, and come to find out, the host was one of the, apparently one of the judges on the Juno committee.
Oh. Well, thank you, Juno committee dude. This is wild. It's my all-time favorite. I listened to on the way home. So on the way home, sometimes on the way to work I listen, but I always listen on the way home. And it takes me 2-ish trips home to listen to a full album. Full Abyss album. So When the Shapes of Land. And then one of Andy's I always forget his band.
Sleeper Ship?
Sleeper Ship. A Sleeper Ship song came on.
Was it Right Away? Or?
No, it was that whatever number 1 is. Right Away's number 4.
Is that The Traveler?
I don't know. It came on, was on for a couple of seconds, and I got a phone call. A lady, Shauna's wondering if you'll sous vide some ribs for her. They're in the freezer. Her freezer. And I was like, well, if you let him do it on his time, I don't see why not. And he just broke out a fart pedal.
Oh, is it there?
Apparently, according to Scott, it is.
Oh, Andy's screaming right now, it sounds like.
Hey, Uncle Stinky just showed up.
Yo, what's up, Uncle Stinky?
Welcome from Seattle. They were saying it might rain, but we haven't had any rain today. It's been pretty overcast most of the day.
It rained a little bit.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't look out the window that much.
I know, you've kind of,
Although I will say, so we got some Frenchie dogs from some sort of kooky puppy mill from California. And so watching this Frenchie prance in the backyard like a gazelle was amazing.
I know, look at it.
Look at that. What is, because pedals, I think, drummer foot pedals, but...
No. Guitar pedal. Like an effects pedal.
What is... Oh, I don't know what that is. I know what a guitar is.
So, yes.
And I know there's different types of guitars.
Yes.
Fender
So
makes some.
Yeah, that is correct.
That's almost the extent of my knowledge on guitars.
So, the signal from the guitar you can put through different effects pedals, and it changes the sound. So
wait, the effects pedal's that thing on the ground that they touch the...
Yes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Woo!
So, yes, this one produces farts.
Okay, it takes all kinds. I'm surprised Grant doesn't.
So, well, no. This one, it was a gift that was sent up to for the both of them.
Okay, because I was like, that is right up Grant's alley.
Yes.
That explains why your numbers are a little low.
That's okay.
And that's okay. There's watch it later. That's A-okay. I am very excited for dinner. So, usually in the past, we would cheat a little bit. And I would go down, because not that far from us is a McDonald's. And so I'd go buy McDonald's French fries as our side dish. But what is our side dish today? The onion rings?
Yeah, onion rings.
I thought Uncle Stinky is going to assemble chili cheese dogs tonight. I thought you were going to do that the other day. I might blow the cat off my bed. And yes, I use chili with beans. That's really funny. Yeah, didn't you have hot dogs the other night, Uncle Stinky? On Tuesday, I thought you said you might do that. Or maybe not. Maybe I remember you. 10 hours. Hi. What are you doing? The puppy's here. Where's
Where's the big guy?
Tom?
Did you not know?
Nope. Oh yeah, you can kind of see her right there.
This was completely clean, I swear.
I believe you. Oh, she didn't catch it. She's usually pretty good at catching. Oh, here comes Big Guy. Gentle. Big Guy here has a tendency to chomp down really hard sometimes, and he's got big teeth.
He's very excited about food.
Oh, he did make them the other day. This is round 2, which we do the same. Like, have the same meal in a couple of nights. Do you make your chili? No, I know this is going to be blasphemous, but I grew up on canned chili con carne, and I loved it. I haven't had it in a long time because I'm not allowed to buy that stuff anymore. So, yeah. It's chili right up my alley. Yeah, we have 2 puppers, Uncle Stinky. Both are rescues. This is Vera. I don't know if you can see her. Oh, let's see.
Yeah,
There, you can see her.
She's at the very, very bottom.
That's Vera. And Jane, come here. This is Jane Cobb. Hey, stop.
Good boy.
You can kind of see him.
Yeah.
I'll back him up. Anyways, Jane Cobb from Firefly. I don't know if you've seen Firefly. And his very favorite gun, Vera. Here, back up. Back. Gentle. Jane's 11, and Vera, she'll be turning 7 in a couple of weeks. July 5th is her birthday. We got her when she was 4 months old, and we got him when he was about 3. Hard to believe he's 11. He doesn't look it at all. Every once in a while, he walks around a little stiff, little old Manny. But we started adding bone broth to their food, and that seems to have helped a lot. Maybe the world is right with the whole collagen thingy. For chili cheese dogs, I use canned. I've made a batch of Texas red chili. That is awesome. I don't know. I love my husband, but I've not been. He's yet to perfect chili, in my opinion. For me personally, how about that? His chili is pretty good, but I don't know. It's too much. It's too powerful. It's too chili. That's the best way to describe chili. Of course, with the chili cheese with dogs, like hot dogs, it might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, because you're not eating it necessarily straight up.
Those are actually, the onion rings are a little bit darker in color. I think the light over there is a little washed out.
Yeah, it's a touch washed out, but I'm keeping them out because then I'm going to pop them in the oven at the very end, just to kind of reheat them and keep them super hot.
What are you doing, little puppy?
Yeah, she's 7 and we still call her Puppy because she still acts like a puppy.
She does.
Oh,
I made a spread.
I saw.
You should taste it.
She's my, I've never been so attached to a dog before. I mean, I love all of my animals, but by animals, I mean past animals, but she and I are like two peas in a pod. Ooh, that's really good. And you know, I'm not a big fan of spread.
I know. Okay. Everything over here is very hot. Don't touch.
No touching anything. We've learned the hard way that I'll just walk in, la 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 la, ouch! So, he's learned to tell me. And I'm trying to learn to remember to not touch anything if he's been in the kitchen. That's a harder one. I come home thinking about other stuff and oops.
Let's do that. There we go. Better view.
I guess. I'm not that
You know what
excited.
you could do?
I could do what, my love? Ooh, we got these new chairs!
I only brought one in because
Whoop. So our neighborhood, we didn't stream last Saturday because our neighborhood has a dumping thing. So it's like you can throw away big trash, no questions asked, or you don't have to pay for it. You just have to drive it to wherever the trucks are. And what they do is people throw away perfectly good stuff because they just don't want it anymore. And
this is
the
cheese.
homemade cheese.
The homemade cheese, the liquid sex cheese slices that we just need to cut up.
So someone was throwing away these bar stools. And we were saying just the other day, like, it'd be great if we had bar stools for the stream. And now we got these, and they swivel. All for free. Huzzah.
Okay.
I didn't even notice it wasn't on the patio. My feet don't touch the floor.
They dangle.
They dangle.
If you would hit the cook button for me.
Cook.
So,
You made the cheese from scratch and the buns from scratch.
yes, and I ground the burger from scratch.
Yeah.
So
What'd
I've
you do
not
that
put
in?
any seasoning on the burgers at all. I'll add a little bit of salt, but that's it.
Lumpy Pickle requested burgers, and so he kind of went all out for you, Lumpy. He kind of likes you.
And Lumpy is a brother that I mean, I have a brother. I love my brother, but he's like a brother from another mother.
Yep, he's a brother from another mother. That's awesome. I'm gonna leave this open and go do some stuff. Spaghetti sauce is on my list of things to cook this week.
Who dat?
Uncle Stinky.
Oh, right on. Dr. Peppers are in here.
Nice. What's your base for your spaghetti sauce? No judgment. One of the only things I came to this relationship knowing how to make was a doctored up spaghetti sauce. And it was doctored pretty good, but it used Prego as a base. And it was pretty good. I couldn't really make spaghetti, but I can now. I learned.
You learned. I had a thought because I've done all of this and whatever for the burgers.
Right.
If you wanted to, because of the bacon and the onion rings, the cheese, and the Walesboro barbecue sauce in the fridge, put it all together.
Western bacon cheeseburger.
There you go.
Nice. What a good idea.
See, I'm thinking of you.
I almost wish you'd made sliders, because then we could have little tiny different kinds of burgers.
Well, funny thing about that, I saw a picture, I think it was this morning when I was looking for images for my Instagram post and everything, and somebody had taken a package of rolls, split the whole thing in half, and had one large burger underneath and then put it back on, and so literally you could just tear it apart and have sliders that way, which I thought was pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. Uncle Stinky uses canned tomatoes and paste.
Right
and
on.
Sometimes jarred sauce. We usually make we get number 10 cans of ground tomatoes from Restaurant Depot. And we usually make a giant thing of sauce. And we usually make it a meat sauce because we like meat. And put in a ton of vegetation. So then I don't feel guilty about not eating vegetables when we have spaghetti. So mushrooms, onions, squashes. Goodness.
Okay, I'm starting to see, juices cool up. And that's my cue to flip. Ooh, that's pretty. I had no fat in this pan, or either of these pans. It's whatever's in here is what's rendered out from the beef. Okay, I need I need to cut the cheese. Okay, let's see. Boom. Oh, those are some thick slices too. kind of thinking these maybe should have chilled a little bit longer. Either that or I should have put something down to... Oops. Getting quite smoky. I already had a fan set up outside the door. Oh man, look at how that's melting.
Smoking up.
I turned the fan on.
Smoking in the kitchen.
Check out how the slices turned out.
Wow. DK smoking in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't know the rest of the song.
Now, future, don't you hit me. No. Something up with the rules, because everybody knows that smoking ain't allowed in school.
That's right. And smoking's really bad. If that's the habit you have, that's all you. But I watched my mom die from COPD. Very ugly. I highly recommend you don't smoke. Radio Hatiste is here! Woo!
Hey, Maria's here.
She got seduced by the burger. You're always welcome, Radio Hatiste. Ooh, cheese is excellent. Woo! Should have put the box fan in the window.
Because it's a bit
Can you
smoky.
see it getting smokier? Yeah, you can totally see the light. It happens. It happens a lot. Because for whatever reason, every home we own can't have a vent that goes outside. Buying a vent and installing one isn't that hard. But the way this house is put together, I'm afraid we'll open a can of worms that we can't quite close.
Sure.
You know what I mean.
Okay. I think
You know.
we are ready to assemble.
Ooh, yum. Radio Hatiste's mom made fish in the oven served with potato salad. That's the one thing we really should eat more of is fish. And we have fish in the freezer. We've got some cod. Oh no, we ate the cod with those
We
fish and
ate
chips. We do have some tuna and the fish the neighbor gave us.
Rockfish.
Some rockfish.
Oh, there it is.
Apparently Costco has a Chilean sea bass that's pretty good.
Want to grab a couple of plates?
Sure. I can do that. Kind of. So we need to get big plates, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And they're stacked under the little plates. Ooh, you want the lobster plate?
Sure.
Lobster plate for you.
Thank you. Here's one for you.
One for me.
So there's that.
Okay, question. This bread that you made,
Yes.
If it were bigger, could you turn it into a soup bowl?
Maybe, but I don't think it necessarily has the right kind of structural integrity
To hold.
to hold it.
Oh, zucchini pie.
Oh, yeah. She posted pictures on the Discord.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it looks
I
awesome.
saw that you posted pictures, but I haven't seen the pictures. I've been busy with work.
I got my eyes on the
And hopefully one day I will not have to work as much as I am working now. Okay, so there's pickles in the sauce, so I don't really need to add pickle.
if you want. I'm going to.
I will going to as well. I speak good English.
Here you go.
I'll just use my fingers.
And there's grilled onions there.
I saw. You're tasty. Three pickles. I don't want to touch the onions. Really big. Do you all enjoy burgers? If you're not a meat eater, is there a vegetarian substitute you enjoy? That is a question I have for you.
I opened the screen portion of the door.
Smart.
I also got the other chair.
Smart.
I've been known to have a good idea or two.
Time for another good idea by Decay. These tongs here are the coolest feature. Like, if you don't have some, highly recommend you get some. Lumpy Pickle, he did this for you. I have you know.
It's true. It was your request.
On Tuesday night, we were talking about what he was going to make.
It was last night.
Last night, we were talking about what he was going to make. And I said, you know, people have requested things and you've not really dipped into the list. And he said, Pickle said, burgers.
Well, it was also because we had watched that one Korean video that had the amazing looking burgers.
It did.
And those buns.
Yeah. So he made the buns from scratch. He kept all morning, which I couldn't really read the text. I'm sorry, because I was busy working. But I'm like, my phone would vibrate, like it wiggled, and it's just like, I'm gonna make the bread from scratch. Oh, I'm gonna make the cheese from scratch. I was like, don't make this a 10-hour stream.
And it wasn't.
Yes, Uncle Stinky was asking if we're familiar with the movie The Princess Bride.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. That is from our time frame.
Onion rings.
Ooh.
Oops. Did you make a burger?
I did look.
Okay, cool.
Here's Mrs. Hueso's burger.
Nice.
Mrs. Hueso.
Now, I'm going to tell you what you told me while you were totally asleep that one night. I'm not going to repeat the words, but it's hilarious and it's an inside joke.
So, if you wake me up in the middle of the night, I usually crack jokes. Although last night I didn't.
No, last night you were like, ah!
Jay, as I said, he's 11. He's getting a little older. The other thing, at night, he doesn't really like to walk around
In the dark.
And so, if I've gone to bed and Jay will whine until someone brings him to me, because I won't wake up. I sleep like the dead. Unless two things happen. There's a bright light, or someone says my name.
And I have said her name repeatedly before to no effect.
So that used to work. Apparently it doesn't work anymore. Maybe you should use my full name or something.
Or I should speak louder. The thing is if I'm trying to like wake you up, I try to be gentle, just in case.
Thank you. These onion rings are tasty. I'm doing the world a favor by trying them.
Onions on the burger.
Come on, Jake. Let's go down here, you two.
Cheeseburger patty number 1. Cheeseburger patty number 2. Mmm.
The only thing is I can't read the string from here. My eyes aren't that good.
Okay. Got that. Time for some bacon.
We haven't had bacon in the house in a while.
I got it today. And I believe that is everything.
It looks straight up delicious.
Cheeseburger. Double bacon cheeseburger. Onion rings. Bun made from scratch. Cheese slices from scratch. Burger ground.
From scratch.
From scratch. Mmm.
Did you use the KitchenAid for that?
I did.
Yeah, you'll have to read the stream because I can't read it from here.
Apparently, Andre the Giant let a massive fart out during filming, and the director was like, Andre, are you okay? Oh, yeah, during The Princess Bride. Yeah, that's a really famous story, how he, like, full-on cleared a room because it was so bad. Who was it? I think it was Stephanie McMahon when she was a child got taken to the set. And,
Was there when it happened?
yeah, I could have sworn I remember seeing something kind of about that. Okay. Bon appetit. Oh, there we go. Quick beauty shot while there's no chat on the screen. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, the plan is to shove it right in my mouth. Absolutely. But, just that.
Okay, moment of truth. First bite, grilled. Sauteed cheese, excellent.
This spread is an excellent dip.
Yeah, you did good. That's really good. You get this,
Cheers.
cheers! Do you like how it's his and hers?
These are Samuel Adams glasses. That's a 12 ounce. This is a 16 ounce. They're perfect pint, as it's called. And these are fantastic glasses. I highly recommend them if you can find them.
The burger's got this like wave of, as you eat it, it's just these beautiful bits. Like it's not one common bite. It's
All right.
tasting the bread and then tasting the burger.
Time to shove it right into my mouth. Mm. Help. Thank
You know, I was a little hesitant when you said you're making your own cheese. It's excellent.
you. Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
The only thing that would make this better is if I had toasted the buns with like a little bit of butter on them, like on a griddle. Nom 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 indeed.
Let's watch the Waysos eat.
Ah. Hamburger mukbang. Mm. Check out the little cheese curl. Mm.
Yeah, cheese is nice.
Darigold medium cheddar.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
You were talking about doing butter cheese. Although finding it probably hard.
I'd have to drive into downtown Portland to go to that German deli.
Yeah. Which we need to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, pickles are.
Prehistoric onions. No night songs. I did not use Vidalia.
Those are harder to get around here.
They did have sweet onions, but these were just white onions that they had at the market because I was looking for a big onion. And the sweet onions were all kind of on the smaller side, and the white ones were definitely the biggest. And that's what I wanted, is I wanted big onion rings, you know? Are they dill pickles? They are Famous Dave's sweet and spicy pickle chips.
Yeah, they're a nice touch. It's a little bit of kick, but then it's also sweet. Good job, baby.
I don't know. Like, I'm gonna need a different towel.
Sure.
Mm. I love red onions, not very sweet, medium. Yeah. You're lucky you, oh, we're very lucky we always have them there. Oh, right on, Night Songs. Walla Walla sweet onions are available here most of the time. Yeah, it makes sense, Uncle Stinky.
Oh, Walla Walla onions would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd be. I bet we can get those at Market Street.
Yeah.
I bet we can.
Well, sweet onions aren't necessarily in season like all year round. At least they're not necessarily always available here, I should say. Jane wants a burger. Yes, he does.
Both of the dogs are here. I don't know if you can see Vera. She's back there.
In their market right now.
Oh. I don't know. It's not really a Winco thing.
No, they do get them.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. But, so, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, but really the difference between, so it takes a burger to get Jane to cross her kitchen floor threshold. No, Vera. Vera's the one that has a difficult time coming all the way back. Jane has no issue. But, the only difference between like a Maya Sweet, a Vidalia, and a Walla Walla
Now I can
is
read
purely,
the chat.
there you go, is purely where it's grown. It's the soil. Like a Vidalia onion and a Walla Walla onion, it's the same onion variety. It's just that in those areas, the sulfur content of the soil is super, super low. And so the onions don't have that same bite. Don't ask me why the sulfur content is so low in their soil, but it is, and it works. This is falling apart.
Very good though.
Yeah, it is.
So there was my favorite burger you've ever made was that time we were at the townhouse and we used pickles and made giant pickle strips.
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite burger, but this is right up there, in my opinion. In my humble opinion.
Yeah, this burger is pretty epic. Mm. Mm.
I got very sick on onion rings.
When?
When I was in Colorado.
Oh.
Last time I was in... Was it the last time or the time before? Time before.
Was the
Last
time
I was in
before.
Colorado, you was with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, but to be fair, you were also reheating, like, leftovers from a really sketchy place.
Yeah, but I was so sick that this is very much... Oh.
Oh, is it bringing back?
No, that's fine. It's good. Uh-oh. Oh, you can't put it down. Sorry. Monkey say, Uncle Stinky says, the true test of a great at-home burger is you can't put it down just so we'll hold it together.
Mm-hmm.
Mine seems to be holding together fine, but that could be because I put it together a little differently.
It could be.
Well, these buns are pretty solid.
Yeah. I was using the onion ring as a burger stand.
So what's the meat?
It's a prime grade chuck roast. We had it in the freezer, and so I thawed it out, trimmed it up, and then ground it.
You use what you got.
Yep. And it's fantastic.
Do you have a favorite place you like to go to for burgers? Yeah. Pro tip there.
Yeah.
It's a good idea because I like my burger dripped on the plate and makes the bread soggy.
There you go.
No,
Onion ring kickstand.
onion ring kickstand.
New band name, I call it. What kind of music would a band called Onion Ring Kickstand play?
Alternative? Like, like,
I'm thinking like doo-wop or something. Grindcore.
I was thinking something like Green Day. Oh, thrash. That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. We are Onion Ring Kickstand.
We're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff.
There you go.
Bones to those who know where that's from.
Indeed.
My burger slid out from the back.
Probably a bunny rabbit in the yard. I saw one out there the other day.
It looked like they never moved out.
Oh. Yeah, they picked up the box.
But the front window was like completely empty and I didn't see the dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Shame, really.
Uncle Siggy likes mom and pop burgers, but sometimes Wendy's.
Okay.
Wendy's isn't bad. I prefer Carl's Jr. over Wendy's. And I love In-N-Out, but that's because I was raised in California.
It also has to do with proximity and like where you're at.
Yeah.
We
We have Burgervilles here, which I'm sure you do too, Uncle Stinky. They're okay.
know,
They're way overpriced. Like, if they were priced better, I would eat there more, but their prices are outrageous. But so far, I don't know.
So, funny story about late night burgers. When I used to work the night shift at Kodak, this is before we started dating.
Your mom's in this chat.
I know.
Okay.
I did nothing wrong.
I know. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Anyway, so I'd work the overnight, and because that's when production was. Anyways, on my lunch break, sometimes I would drive over to the Carl's Jr. that wasn't that far away. Puts the cheese on cold? Oh, that's just not right.
That's just not right.
So I'd go over to, Carl's Jr. had a 24-hour drive-through. And
Because California.
And I'd drive over there, it'd be like 2 in the morning or something like that. 2, 3 in the morning, usually. And then afterwards, I would normally pull forward because I had a parking area that bordered the main street that it was on. And so I would pull up underneath this light pole. So then that way I could, have music on, have light come through the window, eat my lunch before having to go back. On more than one occasion, a young lady who, for whatever reason, was having clothing issues would stroll up asking if I was looking to party.
A woman of the night.
Yeah. On more than one occasion. And I'd be like, I'm on my lunch break right now. Thank you, though. But I'm gonna have to pass. I mean, I was nice about it. I mean, but it was just funny that it wasn't like it was a single occasion. This probably happened, I think, 3 times the entire time I was working night shift. But to be fair, that particular section of the main road, it ran the distance. It probably ran a solid 15 miles or something like that. But that particular section was known as a hot spot for ladies who were looking to have a good time.
Yeah.
It was just kind of funny.
Did you know that avocado cream originated?
I'm pretty sure I told her.
Surprise!
It made me laugh.
It's hilarious.
I didn't do anything wrong.
You
and I had nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm not saying you should be ashamed or you did anything wrong. Just most parents don't want to hear their, young adult son's been propositioned by prostitutes.
I was in my 20s.
Oh yeah, but I bet Uncle Siggy, you've got a lot of mom and pop shops up there.
Probably.
And you guys have a Cafe Rio. And BBQ. BB.Q is up there. We've talked about
BB.Q Korean fried chicken.
If you
That
haven't
place is
gone,
amazing.
If you haven't gone, Uncle Stinky, you've got to go. It is fantastic. Our Korean student took us, and it's the same company that is in his apartment building at home in Korea. Incredible. It was so good we went the next night. we've talked about driving up to Seattle just so we could get that.
I told you Grant has one like within walking distance, right?
Hey, at that point, it's just another hour and a half.
I know.
We gotta get those passport cards.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm good for now. That was a big burger.
Happy nappies, food coma.
That was a 800-calorie burger. Hey, Jane. Are you ready to eat? You want to eat, huh?
He definitely wants to eat.
Honestly, there's some cool stuff in Seattle. Well, ice, of course. And some incredible seafood. A couple times we've gone, we buy our seafood for the year in one sitting.
Yeah.
We haven't gone in a while because we don't have money for that.
And then have it shipped home.
Yeah, of course now we're close enough we can just put it in a cooler.
Yeah.
You ready to eat, huh? I'll feed you. I'll feed you guys.
Okay, folks. I'm gonna call it. Food's around, but when your driver time is something that you covet, so fast food drive-thrus are critical. I totally understand, Uncle Stinky. Especially for my time doing pest control. I get it, trust me. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers! Thanks for stopping by, hanging out.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Shout out to everybody that stopped in and said hey and lurked for a while. Thanks to the lurkers. Thanks to the people who spoke up. Night Songs, Radio Hatisse, Uncle Stinky, Avocado Cream KitchenAid, Lumpy Pickle, Scott 2572, Dick Cobbler, thanks for the follow. Mike No Play, Windear, thanks for being here. We are going to go raid Mr. Andrew Kingsley because he's awesome. There's the raid message.
Andy
So,
is pretty awesome.
Andy is very awesome. So, yeah, we're going to go raid that bum. Mr. Fart Pedal. Alright. Let's set this up. Whoop, wrong keyboard. There he is. Okay, folks. Have a good one. I'll see you all Saturday. I put my onion type on your Discord. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Radio Hatisse. We'll see y'all Saturday. No clue what we're making, but we'll see you then.
You'll be good.
Take care, everybody. Love ya. And, yeah.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?